Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
And we're looking at another warm day today. Highs will climb into the upper 80s, and then we see a string of highs in the 90s. I'll show you how many days in a row.
Raleigh shooting. Police are trying to find the person responsible for shooting a man on a neighborhood street. What we know about their investigation this morning. And debate about data centers. The town of Apex is considering a possible ban on data center proposals. The chance you have tonight to share your thoughts on that. Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30 on your Tuesday morning. Bet you have a lot of thoughts about our big warm-up ahead. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. I'm sure you've heard it all, but we know getting into the 90s this week, that's going to be fun.
Right? And if the swimming pools were open, it would be fun. But, pools don't open for, at least another month. But one thing about it is we are going to see 4 days in a row with highs in the 90s. But we look at next week, and they are long gone. So they're not here to stay. So if you don't like it, it's okay. It's going to change. Southwest wind at 7 miles per hour. That's one of the reasons that we're seeing a big warm up. That southwesterly wind bringing us the warm air. 63 is very close to where we were yesterday. It's 59 in Goldsboro, 66 South Hill, 59 in Clinton, 62 in Southern Pines. So temperatures very similar to yesterday. It'll be a little bit warmer this afternoon. We were in the mid 80s yesterday. We're in the upper 80s for today. One thing that doesn't change, of course, is our dry conditions. So we do have high fire danger again today. We're going to talk more about that, and a small chance of rain in our forecast coming up.
And that is a big concern. Elizabeth, thank you. Raleigh police are looking for the person responsible for a shooting that left a man seriously injured. Police say they received reports of shots being fired on Thelma Street just after 5:30 yesterday evening. When they got there, they found a man who had been shot. He was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. We spoke with the man who has lived in that neighborhood for 40 years. He said incidents like these are no longer shocking, and the violence has reached a breaking point.
I can't even get out here and cut the yard because you don't know what's coming. These people that live over here now are actually good people. They just scared.
We've reached out to Raleigh police for an update on the condition of the man who was hurt and if they have a suspect in this case. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. The man accused in a series of stabbings in downtown Raleigh last weekend will be in court today. This is Frank Lalick. He's facing 4 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to seriously injure. Police say the stabbings happened after a large fight broke out on Fayetteville Street early Saturday morning. 6 people in total were stabbed. Everyone who was hurt is expected to recover. Investigators in Durham are trying to figure out what started a fire that destroyed a $1 million home. It took dozens of firefighters to bring the fire under control yesterday afternoon on Hillendale Road. 3 had minor injuries, including one who was shocked by the solar system. 2 people were living in the home. The Red Cross is helping them find a place to stay. Today, the town of Apex will hear from the community about plans to pause data center developments. WRAL's Ali Calabar joins us live from Apex Town Hall. Ali, good morning to you. This comes about a month after a developer changed its mind about building one in that area.
Yeah, Renee, we saw community pushback shut down that plan to build a new data center. Today, we're expecting to see community support. This for a pause on any new developments. Now, tonight, the town of Apex is having a public hearing. They're getting community input on putting a 1-year pause on data center developments. Now, Apex Mayor Jacques Gilbert tells us this would allow this town to do more research. Last year, many people protested a new data center development, and the developer scrapped the plan in March. Michelle Hoffner O'Connor, a member of Protect Week County, says group members are going to be showing up tonight in red shirts. She hopes it's the start of residents' involvement in data center plans.
I really want to see as much engagement and involvement with people as possible to ensure that everything is being covered appropriately. I think many hands make for light work.
Now, Apex is one of a handful of communities that are leaning toward this one-year pause to do more research. Wake County commissioners even met about it last month, talking about ways to lead other communities as well. Now, the town of Apex is having that public hearing tonight at 6. Reporting live in Apex, Ali Kadlabar, WRAL News.
Sanford City Council is holding a work session today to discuss data center land use regulations. It starts at 1 this afternoon. The meeting is open to the public, but there will not be a public comment period. Anyone who wants to give feedback can do it at the council's meeting next Tuesday. We have done a lot of reporting on data centers in recent weeks. You can learn more about how data centers could reshape the energy grid, the concerns about higher costs, and the potential impacts on the environment. It is all on the WRAL YouTube page. Pakistan has proposed hosting a second round of peace talks between the U.S. and Iran in the coming days before the end of the ceasefire. This comes after President Donald Trump issued another warning for Iran yesterday. He said if a peace deal is not reached by the end of the ceasefire, that it won't be pleasant for them. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is also set to take part in negotiations between Israel and Lebanon today. Those talks are set to focus on security for Israel's northern border and support Lebanon's push for full sovereignty. Meanwhile, President Trump has taken down this AI-generated image he posted depicting him as Jesus Christ. The president defended his post, while others say it was unacceptable.
It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better.
I think the president is trying to walk it back and trying to put a different spin on it, which I think is a recognition on his part that he probably overstepped or went too far.
The White House has not said why the post was taken down. This comes during a clash between the president and Pope Leo. Other Catholic leaders have said the president owes the Pope an apology. We are getting an update on gas prices here locally. According to new data from AAA this morning, in Raleigh, you'll pay an average of $3.89 a gallon. Wilson County has the cheapest average in our area at $3.79 a gallon, and Warren County has the highest average. They're averaging $4 a gallon. To find the best gas prices near you, check out our WRAL fuel tracker. Go to WRAL.com, search fuel. The cost of school construction is rising quickly. Today, Wake County school leaders will take a close look at the challenges they're facing. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is live outside Wake County School headquarters in Cary. Kelsey, this increase in cost is a big issue as the district works to build new schools and renovate others.
Yes, Renee, the cost to build a new school has gone up between 40 and 50% in the last 5 years, according to new state data. So today, school leaders will meet here at the district headquarters to talk about what these numbers really mean for the district. School systems are paying tens of millions of dollars more to build new schools, and in many cases, taxpayers are footing the bill through school bonds. Today's discussion comes just 1 week after the board voted to ask county commissioners to put a $680 million bond on the November ballot. The bond would pay for capital costs like new buildings, but it would mostly cover renovations. WRAL education insider Emily Walkenhorst explains how school districts have to adjust plans for building new schools to account for these extra costs.
Now the school districts themselves are looking at, what can we afford? What can our tax base afford? And they're making plans based on that. And maybe some of those plans aren't the ideal of what they would like to do just because the cost is so high.
And school leaders will not only be talking about a breakdown of the cost of construction today, they'll also talk about changes to school calendars. So coming up in the next half hour, we'll explain how this could impact your student. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Cary.
A juvenile is charged with making a false report of an active shooter at a Granville County high school. The Granville County Sheriff's Office responded to a call about an active shooter yesterday at JF Webb High School. Deputies determined the call was a prank. That juvenile is charged with making a false report concerning mass violence on educational property. More charges could be filed against a teenager accused of crashing a stolen car into a home in Zebulon. Police say Cartier Farmer was speeding when he crashed into this home on West Franklin Street shortly after 3 a.m. The house then caught fire. Video from Drone 5 shows the aftermath. 5 people and 2 cats were inside. They were able to get out safely. The judge who sentenced Raleigh mass shooter Austin Thompson to life without parole is sharing more about his decision. In a court filing, Judge Paul Ridgway said Thompson's crimes reflect permanent incorrigibility and irreparable corruption. Thompson pleaded guilty earlier this year to killing 5 people in the Hedingham mass shooting. A civil case goes to trial this summer. The Carolina Hurricanes lost last night, but they still have something to celebrate. The Canes clinched the top seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs after their overtime loss last night against the Philadelphia Flyers. That means they will have home ice advantage all the way through the conference finals. Tonight, the Canes wrap up the regular season with a game against the New York Islanders, and the playoffs begin Saturday. 440 now, data center moratorium. Wendell leaders want to learn more about the impacts of data center construction, the opposition from residents about what the potential development could mean for the town.
And it feels nice out there as you step out the door if you're about to head out to a walk the dog. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. It will be hotter this afternoon, and we do still have that streak of 90s in our forecast. I'll show you for how many days. 444, there's our tower right here in the backyard, all lit up in blue for clear skies this morning. Really nice and comfortable again, very similar to yesterday. Our pattern continues and doesn't break down until we get to Sunday. That's going to be finally the first cold front that we see coming through. Now, it's been fairly active, but it's all to the north and west. We have a big blocking high pressure system over us that will keep our pattern stagnant all the way through Saturday. Here's a live look at Rocky Mount Mills this morning. It's nice and quiet. Temperatures are comfortable. 63 Raleigh. It's 60 in Rocky Mount, 58 in Goldsboro, and 60 degrees in Wilson. Walking the dog feels nice now. By lunchtime, it's 80 degrees, and it will be a very warm afternoon with highs in the upper 80s. But I'll show you why it's likely to be a day that we have low humidity, and I'll let you know if that lasts all the way through our mini heat wave that's coming up. Renee?
Elizabeth, thank you. The growing debate over data centers is now front and center in Wendell. Town leaders held a meeting on that topic last night. The town now has a moratorium on data centers in place until December 31st. This buys town leaders time to learn about the potential impact of construction. Although there have been no applications for data centers in Wendell, many people expressed opposition to them at last night's meeting.
Where's the money coming from? Who's running these things? Nothing you read says that they do a lot of hiring. They just do a lot of polluting and taking your resources.
The Siemens facility in Wendell makes parts for data centers. However, there are no plans to build a data center there. Federal agents are investigating a Houston home in connection with a violent attack at the California home of OpenAI CEO Sam Altman. Prosecutors say Daniel Moreno Gama threw a Molotov cocktail at Altman's home last week. He is also accused of threatening to burn down OpenAI's headquarters. Investigators say Moreno Gama expressed beliefs that artificial intelligence is a threat to humanity. He is now facing federal charges. The man accused of setting a woman on fire in Sampson County is now in custody. Deputies arrested 29-year-old Frankie Faircloth yesterday. He's facing charges including attempted murder, first-degree arson, first-degree burglary, and assault. Sampson County deputies were called to a home in Roseboro around 10 Saturday night. They found a woman with burns on 2/3 of her body. Investigators say Faircloth forced his way into the woman's home, doused her with gasoline, and set her on fire. She is being treated at a trauma center. An arrest warrant says Faircloth and the victim were in a relationship. Faircloth is in jail without bond. He's expected in court on Thursday. Most of North Carolina, including the Raleigh area, is under a severe drought. You may have noticed it in your yard, your garden already, and farmers are certainly feeling it. More than 3/4 of the state is in a severe drought. In 17% of the state, the drought is considered extreme. It doesn't just affect the amount of water, but also the quality. That's putting a strain on anyone with livestock. Some farmers in our area are having to make tough choices about whether to plant their crops.
But the calendar still rolls on and on and on. So we can't wait too long for that. So we're going to take a chance, hoping that the moisture in the ground is adequate enough for us to go ahead and plant our tobacco and soybeans.
Thompson says he has not seen a drought this bad since the mid-1970s. Extended forecast, no rain in sight. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is tracking that for us as well. And then the heat just kind of makes it a challenge as well.
It does. And we take a look at our next weather maker, and we have this high pressure system that is in control of our weather, and that's what's helping to bring us all this heat. High pressure systems rotate clockwise, and this high is helping to draw in all of that warmth. One thing that's, especially as we get into the summertime, we tend to see the high sitting a little farther offshore. It tends to grab up more Atlantic and Gulf moisture and move it into our area. Sometimes in the spring, we don't see that as much because temperatures overall in some places just aren't as warm. But you typically think that with high temperatures in the 90s, it's also very humid. We see that in the summer, but this time of year, sometimes we just don't have as much moisture with these systems, and that's the case. We're watching cold fronts to our north and to our west. Those fronts will continue to stay to our north and to our west until this high moves away. This high is a blocking pattern for us, and so we're just going to sit here with the cooler, wetter conditions to our north, and all week long, tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, our high temperatures are going to be right around 90. We'll be around 88 for today. The hottest day will be Saturday ahead of this front, and you can see some rain here across the Mississippi Valley. This is the first front that's likely to move across our area and bring us the potential for rain. All of this heat, of course, will be near record highs. Today's high 88 and 91 is the record. We could tie the record Wednesday at 91. We're very close to it on Thursday. A little bit of a difference on Friday. Check out Saturday. We could be 94 degrees on Saturday. The record on Saturday is 95. Because of that, we have had such hot, dry conditions, of course, on and off through April. But we've had dry conditions all the way since September of last year. So it's really catching up with us. There is a burn ban for the entire state of North Carolina until further notice. And today's fire danger is definitely high. We are looking comfortable in terms of the muggy meter, but that also is one of the reasons that we have high fire danger. There's just not a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. And it just doesn't look like it changes anytime soon. At least through the next 10 days, we have a chance of above normal temperatures. But the 7-day forecast is telling a little different story, at least for the beginning of next week. Sunday, we see temperatures dropping out of the 90s, and then by Monday, look at that, 70 degrees, and lows are back into the 40s, Renee.
Looking forward to the drop-off, at least 70 for a high anyway. Going pro, 4 Triangle area basketball players were selected in last night's WNBA draft. We'll show you where they will be playing their rookie seasons. And a joyous reunion. Astronaut Christina Cook reunited with her dog after her return from the historic Artemis II mission. We'll show you more of the tender moment.